All right, so today we're gonna kick things off by introducing to you all a very special guest and artist, very talented. Wait till you see his work today. So I'm gonna kick it off with starting off with his bio, and then we're gonna bring our guest in.
Yes.
So Iye Yin Dae, CEO of Art Lifestyle LLC, has a creative aesthetic that is at the intersection of perspective, juxtaposition, abstraction, and intention. As a multidisciplinary visual artist, his work expresses unique ideas through various mediums, achieving a sense of depth within each work of art.
Muralist, fine arts, musician, live artist, designer, and director are a few ways in which Allende explores the intricacies of the visual arts in the process of creating work that invokes dialogue amongst its audience, as well as serving as pleasurable creative experiences. Wow. So, do you want to do the honor, or should I take it from you? Or
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
okay, all right.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Iye Yin Dae.
Allende, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thank you.
Yes, we're super excited to have you. Your work is definitely inspirational, and I can't wait to dive into this. So thank you for joining us on this platform.
And
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
before we dive into our questions, first I want to talk about your background right here. You have some beautiful work behind you and everything. Can you touch on that a little bit before we get started?
Yeah, so these are just a few recent paintings that I've been working on. The one to my right here. um, so right now it's entitled "Shiros of the Nile."
Uh huh.
So it's just a homage to like the black women, specifically in the Kemetic region, Egypt, some people know it as, and just like that whole dynamic and the strength that it took to, cultivate the land, raise the
Right,
children,
right.
take care of the families, and all the way up until today. I feel like a lot of like when I was doing some referencing to do the painting, I just learned a lot about the culture and realized a lot of things that people did, X amount of years ago are still prevalent till
Right.
today. You know. And the painting to my this side, this is it's a portrait of my great grandfather.
Wow.
Um, he was from Cuba, and I visited Cuba maybe like 2 years ago, and had a great experience. And I just became very like enthralled with just my family's history and just like people that traveled the diaspora and the different places that they lived and came from.
Wow, we just learned a lot just from the
Yeah.
pieces
So,
that you had in your background. I just was
yeah.
curious. So we'll get started now. Sorry to throw that curveball, but
No, that's all good.
tell us a little bit about how you got started and what type of artist do you consider yourself?
Cool. I would say that I was born an artist. My mother, she has a photo that I drew when I was maybe like 5 years old. It was a black comic book called Jam Quacky. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was an artist from Philadelphia. He had this black comic book. The characters were like the main character was a duck, and they had a bunch of different like friends, animal kind of character friends, and I drew like a very detailed rendition of all the characters in this comic book. Um, and she still has the picture now in her house in
Oh
West
wow.
Philly. So yeah, so I've always had the ability, but I didn't necessarily take it serious until college,
Oh
maybe like my
wow.
freshman year in college. Yeah. But I always would draw like comic books in school, or, stuff
Right.
like.
Was that your major?
No, no, no. In college, I went to school to be an engineer, and then I changed to business administration. So my degree is in the business administration. So I'm self-taught. I never took any like formal classes.
Oh wow. So it's always been a passion. I think we were talking about, Eli and I also started off in the visual arts. We were drawing and paint, and then we found ourselves later in film and writing and all these other art forms, expressive art forms.
Yeah.
And I was going to say our degrees are also not in art. It's in computer science, aviation, the STEM
Right.
field. So when you said engineering, I think we always say how your passion never lets you sleep.
Mhm,
You know
mhm.
what I mean? So
Yeah, could you touch on that actually? Just a lot of times we sometimes get away from our passion or things that we feel like we might be called to, where we take we go around the block just to come back to it later. Could you touch on that? Have you had that experience?
Can you say that? What's the question specifically?
Yeah, so just having different background. I would have to say that you're multi-talented, or you have your hand in different fields, but there's a difference between the work that you do and then your passion.
Okay.
So I know, with us, it always called us back to it. So could you speak to that if that's been an experience of yours?
Yeah. I was literally like reflecting on this the other day, but I was telling someone that I'm happy I stayed true to who I am. Like once I started doing art, it was this is who I've been since. And then it was like freshman year in college. So it was people that I went to school. I went to North Carolina A&T.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
we went to Elizabeth City to college for Elizabeth City State University. So we're
exactly. I party down there.
Yeah.
So like there's people that know me from North Carolina that saw me start like become the artist that I am. That was like my beginning. And I never like stepped away from it, even to the point like when I graduated. I came at the Philly and I started working in education. So I've been teaching for last like at least 10 years. I've been at this one school, Sankofa Freedom Academy Charter School, for 10 years. And 6 of those years I've been like art director, art teacher, right? So even with that, like my job, my 9 to 5 was still rooted in art. So I never had to step away from it. I mean, I actually, the more I taught, the more I did art, the more that's when I started tapping into different mediums, music, interior design, fashion, because I was teaching my students these things, but then I was also, teaching myself, and it was just like,
Right. So you touched on different mediums, right? And that's actually our next question. What mediums do you use, and what's your most important tool?
My most important tool is my mind.
That's a good one. That's for the books. That's a really good one.
You gotta put that on a t-shirt now.
No, I mean, because like when I'm teaching, I'm always trying to like explain to my students like to me everything's the same. So if I'm sewing a garment, if I'm making music, if I'm painting, if I'm doing graphic design, if I'm doing interior design, in my mind everything is a layer, right? So even with music, it's like you might start with a bass line, you might start with keys, you might start with percussions. With painting, I might start with black paint for an outline, right? But everything is layering to come to like a final product.
Right.
So once I understood that in my mind, that's how I think I'm able to, successfully jump between different mediums and just be be successful at whatever I do.
So listen, I know those watching, you're also interested to see his work. So before we, get into showing the audience some of your work, it is Black History Month, so we wanted to kind of highlight what artist of color has inspired you and why.
Cool. That was a good question because, being self-taught, I had to kind of think like, who was like in the beginning, like some of the people that inspired me. And Aaron Douglas came to mind initially. Brother Aaron Douglas, born in May 26, 1899, and he passed away, made transition February 2nd, 1979. He was a painter, illustrator, visual arts educator. So the more I started reading about the story, it was like, wow, reading about him now is like, wow, my life really it is mirroring this, this ancestor, this inspiration of mine that I wasn't in the beginning, I didn't know I was going to teach art. I didn't know I was going to start doing murals and stuff like that. So reading his story, it was like, wow, yeah, a lot of artists kind of have the same trajectory.
Right.
But if you have his work, it's a certain painting that I liked that I saw that really inspired me. And it was the Slavery to Reconstruction that he painted in 1934. Did I send you that? Yeah, there we go, cool. So yeah, this is just the style, like the silhouettes, the colors, the story, more importantly. I've never really did a lot of abstract. A lot of my work has always been figurative of some sort. And early on, it was I was very committed to the black story.
Right.
A lot of my early paintings, you'll see is very specific to like the black experience. So again, that was Brother Douglas's like career also,
Right.
his voice also was like speaking for black people.
Well, one, I definitely want to, thank you for sharing information about him, because I think it's really important as we, move along in life that we, one, remember those before us, or just artists in general. Someday, if not already, people will be like, "Hey, I was inspired by Inde," and then your picture will be popping up on the
Right.
screen. But
Sure,
yeah, so as
sure.
Black History Month, I thought the series was really cool because a lot of the artists are sharing inspiration, or just people who, or just other work that they admire. So that, thank you for sharing that, and I hope that anyone watching this can take away, hey, I learned something new today.
Right. All right. So, before we jump into your work, our next question is: what role does artists have in society, in your opinion?
Wow, you're asking some good questions. Well, role, I think artists have the most like outside of like the yeah, no, I'm not gonna say, but I say artists have the most important role in society. I feel like, because if you look at it just like this on a simple level, I mean, a lot of different things can be uh, viewed as art, like a car designer, an engineer, architect. So most things that are made, there was some kind of creative force that led to that, right? Or if you look at it like people that have money, like a lot of my friends who like are very successful financially, they spend their money on art, or they spend their money on things that someone created.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's no anywhere you look, artist has some kind of hand in something you enjoy. Every restaurant you go to, the chef, people eat we eat every day. That's art. So yeah, I would say we had the most important role.
I love that you said that, because, and I don't know if you heard this, but a lot of artists have attested to hearing people say, "Oh, art isn't going to get you anywhere." Now, clearly, it's a whole different ball game from I know when we were growing up, that was sort of like the narrative, but now
Yeah.
art is in fact everywhere. Whether it's T-shirts, it's billboards, it's commercials, and now I think at least the upcoming generation has a new perspective of where art can take them. So I do love that you gave that answer that art is everything and maybe everywhere. So that was a really cool
Right.
answer.
All right. So let's look at some of your work. We're gonna pull up some imagery here, and we want you to kind of give our audience a little bit about the background of these pieces.
All
All
right,
right.
cool.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
Let's take a look.
cool.
Wow.
All right. This is a mural that I did in Mount Airy. It's in Mount Airy, St. George's Lane is the actual street. It's a house. It was a lovely couple that I was introduced to through this it's an organization in Philly called Mural Jones. It's like a black or PLC women ran like company that again like attaches artists, or I'm sorry, not attaches, connects artists to different people in the city to do murals pretty much. So they were the ones that set that up. And the theme of the mural is it was just like plants. I can't think of the exact name. It's 3 different plants. I can't think of it. Oh, fiddle leaf. The main inspiration that started was a fiddle leaf plant, and then there's 2 other plants that's involved in it. But I just, when I travel the world and go different places, I'm just always like amazed by the greenery that I see. And being in Philly, I don't see a lot of. Only in the summertime you really see like. So even I wanted to come up with something that would like brighten up the area, and it was cool. It was a real. It's still there now. All of my information is on like my videos and stuff that we'll see. The addresses are attached to on YouTube or on Instagram. So if anyone sees it and wants to actually like visit these murals that I have, you can check those out also.
Cool. I do have a question about murals, right?
Yeah.
How did you make that transition? Or was it easy? Was it hard from like this little bitty piece of paper and then this huge structure, right?
Nah, it was I think it just was natural, I actually I did murals. Like people know me as a muralist now because I did like some very like large pieces, and I documented them. But I have murals that I did for different schools. I did a mural for A&T at one point, but this was like earlier in my career, and sometimes I would just do stuff and just keep it moving, so I didn't document it. But yeah, I kind of always had opportunities to do them, but I would call myself a muralist more recently, as of like the last 2-3 years. And I mean, now it's again, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's pretty much, it depends on the size, and a lot of times I'll do stuff digitally on my iPad, and then it's kind of like I'll use a projector. It depends on what I'm doing. I might use a projector to project on the wall. I might just freehand it. It's a video that we'll see that it's like 1,000-foot square mural that I did, but I freehanded the mural. So it depends on how. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
But it depends. I won't do that again. You know, it took me longer. You know, it took longer than I probably should have. But it was just like a lot of times I'll do stuff probably harder than what I need to do, so that next time I do it, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Now I'm trying to wrap my head around this, because even I guess as a visual artist, I can't imagine doing a mural because I've never tried one. But so I have a few questions actually. So in terms of the materials, like how do you know exactly? How long does it take to even plan out something like that? Like, is it?
Not for me, not long. Again, my mind is like, once I see it,
right,
it's like cool, you know. Yeah, I know how much paint I might need. I could probably be more technical, but sometimes it's just a feeling, and after you do something after a certain amount of time, it's just like you get used to it, and you know how to kind of go about it.
Right. Okay. All right.
We should do one. We gotta do a mural together.
Hey, speaking into existence, I follow your lead.
I'll be like a one red dot.
I'll pass you the paint brushes. I got you.
Good.
Hey, I actually would be interested in it. I think the largest.
The next time you do one, I have to watch. I'm curious.
I got you. I'm okay. I'm like, we got one. So this is the final product of that mural. It's called Flowering. That's the actual name of the mural. But that's the one that's St. George. That's the garage, the house. House is amazing. It was like they got like a bamboo forest in the background. It was just a very magical experience. And it was, you see the snow. It was like dead winter when I did this. Didn't care, wanted to get it done. Yeah.
So it don't matter the weather, huh?
Nah.
So we have a question from Facebook, and I also want to encourage everyone watching, to start sending in your questions. So do you have any murals in West Philly?
I do. I did a mural for Global Leadership Academy. Right. This is the Southwest campus, the one on 52nd and Pine. Okay. It's right on the corner. It's right across from Malcolm X Park. But it's inside the building. It's like on the third floor. But it was specific to like a certain academy that they have at the school. But I would say that's the only real mural that I have in West Philly.
Okay.
But I need more though. So if anybody,
there's a lot of walls in West Philly that need some beautifying.
I need to be able to walk by and be like, I know him. So definitely, we're gonna take a look at one of their videos that I believe relates to this artwork. So let's take a look.
All right, cool.
Yes.
That was a whole vibe right
I know, right? We over here, first off, the music had my head bobbing, and then the visuals. Cool. So what's so decent about the video that we just watched is that I like that you're documenting it, but it has a style to it. Like, what made you take that approach to it? It's very artistic, even on the
Um,
video aspect.
just it's kind of what I want or what I see from my legacy. Like, so I want to shout out my videographer. All the videos that we'll see, I have one guy that I work with from Philly, young guy named Taj Devore. Um,
Shout out to Todd.
yeah, shout out to Taj. I encourage people to like work with him. He's very like very professional, but like very creative and consistent. You know. So yeah, just so I edit most of my videos. That video I edited, and I made the music.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like super particular.
No,
Yeah.
you're super
Yeah.
talented.
I
It's
mean-
funny because we read that in your bio, so I was like, oh man, like I
Yeah.
love when people have like multiple backgrounds. And
Yeah.
sort of like a do-it-yourself mentality.
I see.
Because that's
Yeah.
something people used to preach against also, right? You know, like, oh, stick to
Yeah.
one thing.
Right.
So
I
you
must say,
Yeah.
we run a small entertainment company, so we definitely need to connect on a few levels. I
Oh
see.
yeah, no, yeah. I'm an advocate for like do it all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'll get to the point. It's so, like I can't film myself, so I knew it was important to find a videographer. But there were times where I tried to film myself, and it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? So once I realized, like, all right, let me start building my team. Let me at least get a videographer. And again, I know I could do the edits and I could do the music, and it's been good. It's been very helpful in furthering my career.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so funny because we work in the same way. I just got a twin to film me when I need it. We gotta get you a twin.
We gotta get you a clone.
Exactly.
Get you a clone. All right, so let's see what we. Wow.
Where? Okay. This is this is digital art. This is no. Okay, this is good. It is digital art now, but this was like my transition where I wanted to be a digital artist, but I probably didn't have the tools yet, or I just didn't, I didn't act on it. So that originally was a pencil. I drew that. I would sketch the images, then I would take a photo on my phone, and then I would put it in like Illustrator and Photoshop and digitize it, color and all that. It's a long process, and then I was like, let me just get an iPad. But in terms of the inspiration, that was I think I did that like when George Floyd happened. I think it was around that time. A lot of work that I think you all have is like from that time frame. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just it's just how I felt like a lot of times where like Black people just kind of like
Right.
we reaching for for good things, we reaching for bad things, but either way we like reaching to survive. So I think that was just very important to capture that.
I think it was interesting that you can pinpoint a time based off your art, and art that art is history and art tells history. So
that answers the question from earlier.
Yeah.
When you're documenting, because sometimes when you're in that moment, right, like you just explained, it's just kind of how you felt.
Yeah.
And what you wanted to express on the paper.
Yeah.
In terms of this piece. So I think that kind of answers the question of how does art tell history? If it's 50, 100 years from now, and our artwork outlives us, and so the next generation and our grandkids, it's like, okay, what inspired this piece? Even the interview now, this might be something that people refer back to. I think it's a very powerful piece, even just from looking at it.
Thank you. All right, cool. This is cool. So literally this morning, the collector that I did this for, they texted me. They said we got the painting today.
Oh.
But I shipped it. I did it in Mexico City, and I shipped it from Mexico City to Philly, and I was just a little worried, if it was going to be there. But they texted me this morning and said they got it. It looks great. Can you go back to it? I see the photo. But this is actually the digital version of it. So a lot of times when I'm commissioned, I'll do it again on my iPad first so that they can see it. If you see, like I even digitize it where it looks like it's on canvas and it has like like it's hanging. So I really want to give again that experience, that like real life experience before I actually jump into it and paint it. But the colors and everything is very inspired from my time in Mexico City though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Man, I'm loving the detail on these.
Thank you. This one is, I'm trying to think of the name. Maybe It's redemption. I've gotten a lot of different reactions to this, but the original inspiration was a photo that I saw. It's a photographer. They took a photo of some children in Africa. They was like playing in water in like a lake, and that specific image is just a child kind of coming out, just wiping the water off his face. But to me, it meant like, redemption. If you think about being baptized, or just anytime we really kind of think about water and spirituality with Black people, it's like we come out the water anew. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just wanted to capture that essence. And that painting is in Paris right now. Actually, the collector lives in
Paris.
yeah.
In Paris. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we going global.
Right.
That's amazing.
International.
The whole world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we have another question here. Do you have prints available? Good question.
No, my mom. If my mom's on here, it's gonna be like, cursing me out. But my mom will always tell me. My mom is the reason really like I stay with art too. Just shout out to my mom. You know what I mean? But she really encouraged me to like stick with it. But no, I never did prints. I don't. It's coming maybe one day. I'm so like. I'm a painter one day. I'm a musician the next day. You know what I mean? So I don't like little stuff like that. I probably need like to get a team to like push for me, but no, I don't have any prints. I'm sorry. I have originals only. You know, even for myself, like I collect art, and I never bought prints. I just always wanted the original piece. You know what I mean? Like for me, so I think that's probably in my mindset too. Like I really just want people to have stuff that I physically made. You know?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, very. I guess it's sort of like if someone sees something of yours and then somebody has it already, it's like, oh, I still want something.
Since that painting is in Paris, I might need a print though. Since it's already left the United States, I might have to travel over and look at it. But yes, that's interesting.
All right, cool. Yeah, this is the John Letty joint. I was commissioned by a friend of mine's. This is in Philly. Where does she live? West Oak Lane. And this piece is very interesting because, so I'm gonna just like explain the colors, but like you got gray, then you have kind of like a bluish green, then you have like a blue, and then you have like a tan, looks like sand dunes, then you have that brown, and then you have like that dark kind of bluish gray at the bottom. The person that commissioned me, she traveled to all these places. It was six countries in that mural that this person traveled to, lived at, worked at, and it was her idea. I just kind of put it together. You know what I mean? I took different photos that she had and just kind of referenced them, drew them out, and then this is what came about from that.
I'm loving the storytelling that's going along with these photos.
Because that's definitely different when someone wants something and they have like an idea, and the fact that you can bring that to life through your painting is awesome.
I mean, and really, that's like a lot of times I'll tell myself I want to, or tell people I want to meet everyone's creative need. Like that's what I like, have integrity in. So a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, just do you," and it's like. Don't tell me that, you know what I mean? Because telling me to do me, it could be anything. It's like, give me somewhere to start. Give me some kind of reference somewhere, you know what I mean? And yeah, she just was able to give me the photos. And then in terms of like how it looked and how it laid out, I was able to go from there. But yeah, I think that's what I might love the most is like working with people and really just being able to create what they are thinking or what they feel, what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Home for Good. This is cool. This was I paint, but I also do like stencil lettering work. This is one of the stenciling projects that I had to do for Jason Trell. Jason Trell is it is a new apartment complex in Kensington. It's on J Street and Kensington Avenue.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No, I'm still sort of making my way around, familiarizing myself with Kensington, but
yeah. So it's just like this new, like very interactive, community-oriented apartment complex that they're leasing now. And actually, it's just starting to open. But they commissioned me to do a a bunch of different lettering projects for them, and that's one of them. That's inside the main lobby, Home for Good. That's like kind of one of their mantras for the building.
Okay.
You gotta have a map
Oh,
of
I know,
everything
right?
you got, and then like.
Oh, facts. I did. That's real.
Look,
I was just saying the same thing. I mean,
What?
seriously, you know how I think growing up, they took us on a mural tour. So I think you could have your own tour going on here.
Technically, I can. This is true. I need to put it together, and I add some more. I need a West Philly outdoor West Philly mural.
yeah,
Specifically.
definitely.
Y'all hear that? We're gonna work on it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is another part of this is the building. This is it's two buildings that are connected by these bridges. So these bridges were like at least 75 feet in the air. I want to say, yeah, it was just
Wait.
Okay, wait a minute.
I was on like you might show the picture, but I was on like those a boom lift. You know what I mean, with a harness on, hard hat, and I was,
You still was able to do a straight line.
Yeah, so I didn't freehand that. I did. What did I do? No, I started freehand. I just did like my sizing, my proportioning freehand, and then I would go with like tape or something. You know what I mean, to like get the very sharp lines. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't know if I could still accomplish a straight line up there.
I mean, I'm not afraid of heights now. I might.
We're still doing art on the ground for now.
Yeah, no, it's a different vibe. But I actually like it being in the air because you're by yourself though. Like it was times where it was like I'm above the city. I'm like above the L, and it's just me, the paintbrush, and this thing I got to do. And it was like my music. When I actually I got used to it.
Okay.
After a while. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we got a few more things we want to check out, but we're gonna jump to another video. I think the videos are really cool and show you in your craft
element. Yeah.
So let's get to the video.
My name is Iye Yin Dae Kwaku Purnell Green. I would like to say that I was born an artist. The initial steps were looking at the loading dock, seeing 3 blank walls that they wanted some art on. It's 3 people on Shift's team that kind of like spearheaded the whole grant and reaching out to me. And we spent some days just collaborating on a concept. They always knew it wanted to be Kensington oriented, a map of some sort, colorful. I feel validation in my art from being able to do this by myself. You know what I mean? What I did learn is that people don't usually do murals this size by themselves, freehand. So I definitely feel empowered that I was able to use the techniques that I've taught myself and then being able to apply it to like a real life situation.
Cool. Again, I think what I like about your work is that it's different in terms of like the tweaks that you've been showing us so far. It's not really one thing. You looked at the mural just now. First off, that was a large piece.
Yeah. When you walked by, I was like, man.
Right. When I saw you walk by, I'm like, okay, that's much bigger than what I thought. So I'm sure it took some time to even do that piece alone. Yeah, like 3 months, I want to say. And again, I could have did it faster, but I was
I was falling in love with the experience. It was just like,
Right. So
um,
you do
but
art with the experience in mind as well for yourself, which is
yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's probably because like I kind of became a painter from
Mhm.
doing live art. It was a time in my career where I was just in college, I was doing live art at events. And then when I came up to Philly, um, I was getting booked a lot to just like paint at different events, parties, whatever.
Right.
So, doing that, it was two things. It was like, yeah, I'm painting, but I knew it was important to entertain people as well to get their attention. And
Right.
real quick, so that mural that I did, that you just the video we saw, the company that commissioned me to do that is the same company that commissioned me to do the stencil work, Gleason Trail. So the company is called Shift Capital.
Mhm.
They're in Kensington, a great organization. I love them. They've done a lot for me. That's one,
You're definitely trailblazing in Kensington. It's something to
Yeah.
definitely,
yeah,
the comment is inspirational, but I think that's what people need to see, especially even in that area. But
yeah.
just trailblazing as an artist in such an area, I think you're definitely making
Mark
a
there.
mark, leaving your mark there.
Right, thank you.
So I had a question before we move on to the next piece. There may be some artists that see this video, whether they're watching now or later. And I hear you talk a lot about working with different, I guess clients in a sense. So there
Mhm.
are some artists they kind of get stuck in not knowing how to take it to the next level. You talk about how you have artwork that's overseas. You've done work in different countries. So can you talk a little bit about that experience of how you even took your art to the next level?
Uh, I don't think it was anything specific. I think it was just more about being, the consistency of my work and the integrity. You do something for one person. Usually, somebody else is going to, be interested in what it is that you did. So you gotta, every time you come to the table, you have to have integrity with your craft and your product. Um, And yeah, I think that's probably all it is. And again, just being an artist, I just meet a lot of amazing people
Hmm.
from all over the world who just do a lot of amazing things, and they have resources and they have
Right.
connections and they got a community. And I'm only being positive with whatever I do in my life. So I think also that's just attracting the energy I'm giving off.
That energy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have another random question, but
yeah.
okay, I know you said that you sell murals and I mean murals, you sell your artwork, right?
Uh-huh.
And you like to sell the original, but has there ever been a piece where you love so much that you're like, okay, this one I can't sell, or one that you just
Yeah,
have?
yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom got them. Yeah,
Okay, that
yeah.
makes sense. I was just wondering.
Yeah. The ones that I'm just like, yeah, I give them to my mom. She has one that I did that I didn't want to sell that I gave to her.
Cool, cool. No one's getting that one.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna keep it moving.
All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. This was my John. This is one of my latest pieces. Um, it's called Stimulus Check.
Mm.
Yeah. uh,
Say no more. No, go ahead.
you know, yeah. So yeah, it really was around that time that this was all like, this is like post. Hey, here we go, Margot. What's up, Margot? No, she's Margot. I'm gonna shout Margot real quick. She's a person at Shift, one of the people at Shift that I love that like really like has my back. You know what I mean? So it's important. I'm happy that she's here. That's cool.
Oh.
Hi,
Um,
Marco.
yeah. So the piece, can you go back to the paint real quick? I can break down a reference. So it was three references that I used to make this. Jay-Z was one, right? I don't know if y'all remember when they had the rock brunch and he had like the mobs, the pink suit on. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
or whatever. I love Jay-Z now, you know what I mean? But also I know he kind of represents a time where like, he wasn't as like for the people, I would say, in terms of like his content. Um, so just in terms of like that money, that like super affluent black person. And then the face was like what did I use? I used the Weeknd's face from the After Hours album cover. So kind of like this very like obsessive look that he had. But I connected it with the money, and then just kind of like, again, knowing, understanding some people and how money just like makes, specifically people of color sometimes just like do crazy stuff like eat money. You know what I mean? Like who?
Yeah, neat money. Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So just kind of like playing on that. No disrespect to anybody, but it was just, it was important to me at the time.
Nice.
Wow, neat money. That's deep.
Cool. This is Blacks in Paradise. This was the first mural that I did with Mural Jones. This is in South Philly, Sigel Street. What's that, like 3rd and Sigel, I want to say. Very interesting story. It was cool, just did it. The people who own the house, it was like, we let a concept, let's do it, da-da-da. I go to South Philly at like 5 a.m. to get started. Next thing you know, somebody come outside. This white man came outside, had a lot to say. He never said nothing to me. He just was like talking loud, and I'm painting. And I turn around, I'm like, but I can tell when something ain't right. And I was like, all right, boy, he upset. But he's upset because of what I'm doing. But the crazy thing was, I didn't even get to the power fish yet. It was just like the plant, you know what I mean? But this man had he was very upset. He was so upset that I'm laughing, that was funny, but he went in his house. So where I'm painting at, you can see it's like an alleyway to like the left. And this man lived at this on the corner house. So he goes to the second story of his house, and he hangs 2 Trump for president sign banners out his window, right?
Oh.
Like, you're tripping, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in hindsight, like, he lost. You're an idiot. But it was crazy. They called the cops on us.
Wow.
People were walking by saying, like, you don't have permission to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, it was more love overall, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was the first time as an artist that I experienced racism because of my art, you know what I mean? And that joint definitely put a fire in me, though. And it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to finish it today. So I did all that, and I forget how many hours, but it was finished the same day. You know what I mean? I didn't plan on finishing the same day because I feel like I had to rush it, but I was like, I need this man needs to wake up tomorrow.
Right. See this.
You didn't do any, you didn't scare nobody. Like, you actually just inspired me to go hard. It's still there, you know what I mean? And again, Trump laws on that man.
I like the takeaway though that you can't be scared out of what it is that you do, and it's always something where there's someone telling you no, or someone saying you can't do something that actually puts a fire in you.
Yeah.
Not that we need negativity, but I can say that if you take it and fuel it to something else, that it turns into power. So
exactly, take the negativity, turn it into something powerful and positive, and just, keep it moving.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All these different experiences just from like being an artist. Wow, look at this one.
This is just what did I put this? This is just a collage that I did. It was supposed to be a mural at a Harriet's bookshop. You know Harriet's bookstore on okay. It's a black-owned bookstore in Fishtown off of Gerard Avenue. Never got to do the mural, but this was the concept that I came up with. So this is just, again, like my digital art. You know what I mean? So it's maybe I probably use about 15 different images in this you see how like Harriet is holding that book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to do some graphic design work to make that happen. You know what I mean? But I really like this piece, and just to kind of show like that my collage technique also. Cool. This is early Iye Yin Dae. But this is one of my favorite pieces. Again, this was just I hope honoring Black women. I know the deal. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the many Black women in my family. You know what I mean? So just paying respect to the things that you all do. Just the resilience and the strength and the beauty and the grace. All the positive things that I could say about Black women and how they live their lives.
I received it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, all right. I'm talking to you.
Appreciate it. Let's look at that piece again.
If I had
you go back to the last one at a time. I just want to make sure that our audience is able to look at the details on here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think the reference. It was definitely somewhere in Africa, maybe Ethiopia, somewhere in East Africa. But yeah, this woman is carrying bricks on her head, like
Yeah.
and smiling at while she's doing it, like
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I love it. I love the detail in this one.
Right, thank you. This is digital. This was when I was drawing on paper first and then digitizing it.
Okay.
But it was just for a T-shirt. It was for a company that a friend of mine started, like a nonprofit, and it was the nonprofit. I think it specifically caters to young women, women of color, and that was just like the image that we came up with to represent what she was doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All
I
right.
love the extension of the her neck.
Well,
It's like exaggerated. I love it.
Thank you.
So we're gonna jump into another video. I love these video breaks.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Can you hear me now? Don't you wanna bless me? Can you hear me now? All the losses was just lessons. Don't you wanna bless me? Girl, can you hear me now? Some just want, cause you don't, you want it. Can you hear me now? All the losses was just lessons. Don't you want a blessing? Hear me now. I could give you all the answers to your questions, like why we even stressing. You hear me now? Some just want party with me. Fuck up, can't say sorry to me. Lately they ain't caught up with me.
So that was the piece.
Yeah,
that
it
we
was
were
behind
referring
you. The piece you were referring to earlier, right? That was behind you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the video that we did from that.
And it's super tall.
Right,
Yeah.
it's much taller than I
It's
had.
it's at least 15 to 20 feet, I want to say.
Man, okay. So yeah, you
Yeah,
disturbing the peace over there.
yeah. I didn't do the music. That was my cousin Hoodie HL. That was a song he did that I liked. And it was,
Yeah, it was definitely fitting. Like Eli said, it's a whole vibe to your artwork. So you not only have a style of art, but you have a brand going on here.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So this next
Well,
piece,
Man.
yeah, this is early Iye Yin Dae also. You could kind of tell by my signature at the bottom. Now I kind of have like a custom signature that I kind of stick with, but that's how you can kind of like date my work. But I did this for, it was a jury exhibit in what's that called? Old City. And I did 2 pieces. They were both selected, and I'm sure you've seen that photo before.
Yeah.
Right. But again, I don't know. It's pain. Like I get it, but I know that's not our history either. You know what I mean? That's not our full history. Like the whole the struggle. You know what I mean? But I also, I still honor it, and I still like respect what
Right.
it is. Whatever what people did. You know what I mean? Nothing's like monolithic. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just, it was a powerful, and I think the piece was, the exhibit was specific about, I want to say like the Middle Passage slavery kind of time. So that's why I did that thing. But that piece was cool. It was real good. Ended up going on tour. Ended up at the Reginald Lewis Museum in Baltimore.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow, I like how your art is in different places as well as different mediums, and that's something cool that I think a lot of artists can take away. It's not just like pen and paper, and it's not just in your notebook. Some people draw and they never share it. So you're in a museum, you're in people's homes, you're in more than one type of place. You're outside on walls, so that's really cool that you can extend yourself in that way.
Right. So I know we only have 5 minutes left. We have 2 more questions. Feel free to ask any questions on Facebook for those of you who are still with us. So out of all of the different things you showed us today, do you have a favorite? I know you do digital art, you do murals, in pencil, paper. Oh, that's beautiful. But
This
you do
is like,
so many.
yeah. Do I have a favorite? Nah. I can't say that. Nah.
No go to.
No, it's not because again, it's all the same. It's like right now, I'm working on music. Like I'm working on like an EP, but I make the music and then I'll paint. You know what I mean? Or I'm doing graphic design. I'm like making animations and stuff like that for the music. So it's kind of all this. It's all connected to me. Depends on the day and the weather. You know what I mean?
A vibe thing. That's what
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
getting here.
For
So
sure.
let me ask this then, because I know we're getting ready to close out here.
Mhm.
Looking at your body of work, what do you want people to take away when they think of your work? We talked about how art is everlasting and it'll be here for years to come. What do you want people to take away when they think of you as an artist in general?
Um, hmm. All right. Well, I guess for one, I want people to firstly like take that. I understand that I just really love Black people. You know what I mean? Like I'm obsessed with us. So most of the times when I'm doing something, it's for Black people or it's a representation of Black people
Hmm.
um, to some degree. And then also just outside of that, just like again my integrity.
Right.
You're not going to see nothing that I did where it's like, oh, you did it halfway, or it was like you can tell I didn't care. You know what I mean? I just was like,
Right.
I didn't take it serious. Anytime I'm asked to create something for somebody, or even if I'm asked, I'm asking myself to create something, I'm taking it very serious and I'm doing it with a lot of integrity. You know.
Right.
Wow.
Right. That's actually a really good answer. And we have another question from Facebook. How do you get your work featured at galleries/museums?
You just gotta be good. No, I mean, not really. It's that, and then it also is about who you know. You know what I mean? Like
No.
I had a manager at one point, Florissy. She had an art gallery, Vivant Art Gallery, in Old City, and I just so happened to meet her. She just so happened to see me painting somewhere. I met her, and then from her managing me, I was automatically um, favored for different exhibitions and opportunities because she already was in that world. You know what I mean? So a lot of
Right.
times,
Right.
it's definitely your work, but then I think it might be more the relationship now. You know what I mean? Because you can know
Yeah,
somebody and
that's
just be
huge.
like, you know, I got 10 art galleries, and it's like, oh, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
a good
key.
point because I
Yeah.
think every field, especially entertainment and the arts, is that you have to have the networks, and the only way to get that is to get out there and to
Yeah.
show yourself. So that's a really
Exactly,
good point.
exactly. And
Have that confidence, right?
and then I also like I guess the last piece is like you said earlier, the branding. That needs to be good. Like your graphics, your flyer, I feel like anything you do that's representing you, it needs to be like to a certain standard so that a certain person can like pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. All right. This is our last question. How do you get commissions from Facebook?
Same thing, got to be good. um, yeah, good. Just know what you're doing because I'm self-taught, but I studied. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like just doing whatever. It's like I literally sat and studied every art era there was. You know what I mean? Cubism. You showed a piece earlier. It was Nefertiti, but it was Cubism. It was all shapes. You know what I mean? That was something I had to study myself to like understand and then try it and do it. Or like the picture with there was like two people like kind of kissing. That's an impressionist style. You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. So that's an impressionist style. It's not meant to be super detailed.
Right. Right. Right.
It's
Right.
a Cubism piece. You know what I mean? So these are all different techniques that I had to study myself, try them out. Do them, be confident in them, so that when someone asks me, it's like, "Yo, can you paint?" It's like, "Yeah, well, how do you want to paint it?"
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I can do it 10 different ways if you want. So just studying on what you're doing, and just again taking it serious, and people being able to reach you. I've always had a website. My social media has always been very consistent. Um,
Can
so
you throw that out there right now? Actually,
Yeah. So how do
yeah. So can I type it or I should just say it?
you can say it.
All right, cool. So my social media, like my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you can find me at Iye Yin Dae, like the way my name is on the screen, but just all one word. So IYEYINDAE. That's also my website, iyendae.com. I think that's the main. I'm on Facebook too, but I'm really on Instagram, TikTok, and my website, and my email is iyende@gmail.com.
Listen, you got it real easy for the people. Yin Dae
Yeah,
across the
it's not
board.
like it's important. They definitely need to be seamless. You know what I mean?
Right. So you can't miss it. I hope that people watching get in contact with you. You are an amazing artist. I know we're out of time here, but again, from MCCP, we just want to thank you so much for your time and sharing your artwork with us. I really enjoyed the storytelling that came along with it. I feel like you took us on a journey today in expressing your art, and it was also inspirational at the same time, for sure.
I can't wait, and I know everyone watching can't wait to see more from you. I think this is definitely how we all feel, and listening to you speak. Fearless in your art, and unapologetic about what you do and why you do it. So definitely keep doing your thing. I can't wait to see.
We're looking forward to the tour. We're looking forward.
We're gonna do a mural. We're gonna do a mural together.
Yes, we will.
I can't say what it is, but I do have a project that's specific to West Philly that's about to be released soon. I can't say what it is. I signed a contract, but I can just say that. So I think a lot of people will be like happy about it. I'm very proud of it. Also, so look out for that. Also.
Yeah, we gotta get you over on the west side so we can.
We need you over here.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna close out, but I have one more video, and
let's go.
We're gonna drop the video.
I want to say this is the video that the last video that I kind of made, but I made it so that it's like a what's the word? It's a montage of my murals. I was trying to it's another word I'm trying to use, but yeah, it's like all my murals, and this is what I'm using. So people that was asking how you can get commissions, I'll use this video and send it to companies to show like, yeah, this is like these are the murals that I've done. This is what I can do. You'll see it, but it's like my EPK, I think. It's just,
I hope we got the right video.
It has to be. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you again, and we're going to close out.
All right, take care. I appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you.